Welcome everyone, to our fascinating exploration of the 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of currency that has captured the imagination of collectors and historians alike, and today we are going to dive deep into why this humble coin, which you might think of as just a penny, can actually command prices as astronomical as $16 million in certain rare circumstances, and why something that we often overlook in our daily lives as mere change has in fact a world of errors, mistakes, and possibilities embedded in its tiny, metallic frame that make it a treasure worth far more than its face value. So buckle up, sit back, and get ready for an incredible journey into the strange and exciting world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins, where even a 1-cent coin can become a historical artifact, a financial marvel, and a story of human error turned into immense monetary value, because in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are not just mistakes, they are the very things that can elevate a common coin to legendary status, and the 1-cent coin, often taken for granted, is perhaps the perfect example of this phenomenon, beginning with the basic understanding that every coin is produced through a series of highly precise and mechanical processes involving dies, presses, planchets, and minting machinery, and any deviation from these processes, whether by human error, mechanical failure, or even intentional experimentation, can result in anomalies that make a coin stand out in the eyes of collectors and experts alike, and one of the most famous examples in modern history is the 1943 copper penny, which should have been struck in steel due to the wartime need for copper for shell casings, yet a few were accidentally produced in copper due to a mix-up in the minting process. A blunder that created a scarcity so extreme that collectors are willing to pay millions of dollars to own a single specimen, demonstrating how the tiniest mistake in production can exponentially increase a coin's value, and this is just the beginning, because the 1-cent coin has experienced a myriad of other errors over the decades, including double strikes, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and even coins with missing features or inverted designs, each type of error telling a story about the conditions under which the coin was created, the human oversight involved, and the mechanical quirks that turned a simple coin into a rare artifact. For instance, a double die penny, where the design is struck twice with slight misalignment, can result in letters that appear doubled or images that seem shadowed or layered, a mistake that is visually striking and immediately recognizable to trained eyes, and while these errors might seem minor to the untrained observer, they are highly coveted because they are difficult to reproduce and inherently limited by their very nature, meaning that once a coin with such an anomaly exists, there is no practical way for it to be replicated without either another accidental occurrence or an intentional reproduction, which collectors usually dismiss as inauthentic, making genuine error coins exponentially more valuable, and the same applies to off-center strikes, where the planchet, or coin blank, is not properly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing or cut off, a flaw that might seem like a defect in the manufacturing process but is actually a window into the imperfections of mass production, and in a world that often prizes perfection, these imperfections are celebrated, as they represent moments of uniqueness and rarity, because in coin collecting, scarcity is often the single greatest determinant of value, and the more dramatic or unusual the error, the higher the potential worth of the coin, and in some cases, entire series of coins have become iconic precisely because of these flaws, like the 1955 double die Lincoln cent, which shows extreme doubling on the date and lettering, creating a surreal, almost three-dimensional effect on a coin that is otherwise mundane, and these coins are so rare that when they appear at auctions, they attract attention from collectors around the world, driving prices into the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, with certain specimens reaching seven figures depending on condition and provenance. And it's fascinating to consider that all of these coins began as ordinary planchets, blank pieces of metal destined to be stamped into something ordinary and functional, yet due to tiny mistakes during the minting process, they became objects of desire worth fortunes, a testament to how human error and mechanical quirks can transform ordinary objects into extraordinary artifacts, and the errors can take many other forms, such as broad strikes, where the coin is struck without a proper collar, causing it to be larger and thinner than usual, or coins struck with cracked or broken dies, producing anomalies like raised lines, blobs, or incomplete images, and each of these mistakes tells a story about the moment of creation, the stresses on machinery, the subtle variations in metal composition, and the intricate interactions between humans and technology that can result in something truly one of a kind. And there are also rare varieties caused by intentional design changes that were mistakenly implemented or quickly abandoned, creating coins that never should have existed in their final form, like experimental dies, pattern coins, or test strikes, which were often made in extremely limited numbers for internal evaluation but accidentally entered circulation, creating opportunities for collectors to discover coins that are virtually unknown to the general public, adding an air of mystery and allure. And in addition to these mechanical and human errors, there are also instances of environmental factors and post-mint accidents that inadvertently increase a coin's rarity, such as coins that were exposed to unusual chemical processes, extreme heat, or immersion in unusual materials that left them with unique coloration, toning, or surface texture. And while these are not errors, in the strict manufacturing sense, they are anomalies that make each coin unique and therefore potentially highly valuable, because once collectors recognize that no two coins are exactly alike, even coins that start out as ordinary can be seen as extraordinary when subjected to rare or unusual circumstances. And what is truly remarkable about coins like the 1-cent penny is that their enormous potential value is a combination of technical errors, historical context, scarcity, and human fascination with anomalies, because when a coin goes astray in the minting process, it inadvertently becomes a symbol of imperfection, and humans are naturally drawn to imperfection as a source of beauty, intrigue, and rarity, so a coin that may have been discarded or overlooked at the time of its production can decades later become the crown jewel of a collection, sought after by those who understand its story, provenance, and the precise nature of its mistakes. And the story of the 1943 copper penny, the 1955 double die, and countless other error coins demonstrates that in the world of numismatics, rarity is often defined not by the sheer quantity of coins produced, but by the stories that those coins carry and the deviations that occurred along the way. And collectors and investors alike have learned that identifying these anomalies requires a combination of keen observation, deep historical knowledge, and sometimes even a bit of luck, because errors and mistakes are often subtle, hidden in tiny details like the thickness of a letter, the angle of a strike, the depth of an impression, or the alignment of features that most people would never notice. And the hunt for these coins can be both thrilling and financially rewarding, leading some people to dedicate entire lifetimes to studying minting processes, die varieties, and historical records to identify coins that others would overlook. And the high stakes involved in finding a coin worth millions is not just about money, but about prestige, knowledge, and the sheer excitement of uncovering a piece of history that survived against the odds, often remaining hidden in circulation or in private collections for decades, only to emerge unexpectedly, reminding us that every coin carries a history of human endeavor, error, and ingenuity, and even the smallest penny can embody the complex interplay between human intention and accidental deviation, between mass production and individual anomaly, between ordinary metal and extraordinary value. And when you consider that a coin costing literally 1 cent at face value can, due to a series of mistakes and errors, be valued at $16 million or more, it really underscores how value is not intrinsic but assigned based on rarity, demand, and the stories that surround an object, and that this principle applies far beyond coins to collectibles of all kinds. But in the case of the 1-cent coin, it is particularly striking because the contrast between its intended worth and its potential value is so extreme, and it encourages us to look closer at the things we consider mundane, to appreciate the hidden complexities in everyday objects, and to recognize that mistakes, whether human, mechanical, or environmental, can sometimes produce something more extraordinary than perfection ever could. And as we explore these coins further. Next, 1989 1-cent coin. Today we are going to explore one of the most intriguing examples in modern numismatics, the 1989 1-cent coin, a coin that at face value costs just 1 cent, yet under certain rare circumstances, errors and mistakes in its production have caused it to be valued at an astonishing $11 million, and while that may sound unbelievable at first, the story behind this coin illustrates the incredible intersection of human error, mechanical processes, scarcity, historical context, and collector fascination that can turn the most mundane item into an object of immense wealth and desirability. And to understand why the 1989 penny is so valuable, we must first appreciate the complexities involved in minting coins, which involves a highly precise sequence of steps, including the preparation of the metal planchet, the creation of dies with intricate engravings, the alignment and striking of the coin, and the quality control processes designed to ensure uniformity. Yet despite all these safeguards, errors and mistakes can occur at any stage, and it is these anomalies that often become the defining factors in determining a coin's worth to collectors, because rarity, uniqueness, and story are sometimes far more valuable than sheer metal content or face value. And in the case of the 1989 penny, there are several types of errors and mistakes that contribute to its exceptional value, beginning with die errors, which occur when the metal dies used to strike coins are flawed, misaligned, or damaged, leading to abnormalities in the design, such as doubled letters, misaligned portraits, distorted images, or variations in lettering and numbers. And one of the most famous die-related errors affecting the 1989 penny is the so-called doubled die obverse, where the date and certain lettering appear noticeably doubled, creating a striking visual effect that immediately draws the attention of collectors. And the nature of this doubling is such that it is impossible to replicate intentionally without precise minting knowledge, making genuine specimens highly sought after. And in addition to double dies, the 1989 penny has been known to appear with off-center strikes, where the coin blank is not perfectly centered in the press during striking, causing portions of the design to be cut off or missing entirely, a mistake that turns a perfectly ordinary coin into a rare collectible, because off-center strikes are inherently unpredictable and limited by their accidental nature, meaning that only a tiny fraction of coins are affected in this way, and the smaller the percentage of misaligned strikes, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially when it is preserved in excellent condition with minimal wear. And there are also planchet errors that can occur with the 1989 penny, such as the use of wrong metal composition, clipped planchets, or improperly prepared metal blanks, each of which can create a coin that is noticeably different from standard production, with unusual weight, thickness, or visual anomalies. And these variations, though they might appear insignificant to the untrained eye, are extremely important to collectors, because they represent a deviation from the norm that cannot be recreated intentionally without the same rare conditions that produced them initially. And another fascinating type of error that can affect the 1989 penny is the occurrence of struck-through errors, where foreign material, such as grease, debris, or even fragments of other coins, gets caught between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving unique impressions, indentations, or distortions on the coin's surface. And these anomalies are often so visually dramatic and unpredictable that they can attract intense attention from both collectors and auction houses, further driving up the coin's value. And the 1989 penny has also experienced examples of die cracks and die breaks, where the metal dies used to imprint the design develop cracks due to repeated use or structural weakness, resulting in raised lines or fissures on the coin itself, a mistake that turns a common coin into a rare specimen and adds another layer of uniqueness that collectors prize highly. And what makes these errors particularly fascinating is that they are all accidental, and yet they carry a narrative, a story of imperfection within a system designed for perfection, and humans are naturally drawn to these imperfections, not only because of their rarity but also because they symbolize moments where chance, error, and history intersect, transforming ordinary objects into extraordinary artifacts. And when we combine these technical anomalies with historical context and collector demand, we begin to understand how a coin that should be worth only 1 cent can command prices in the millions. And the story of the 1989 penny also includes unique variations that stem from mint mark errors, where the letters indicating the mint of origin, such as D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, are misplaced, doubled, repunched, or even missing, creating coins that are visually distinct and historically intriguing, because these mint mark errors reveal insights into the minting process, the oversight and quality control of the era, and the human and mechanical factors that interact in unpredictable ways during coin production. And the 1989 penny has also been documented in rare instances of broad strikes, where the coin is struck without the proper collar, causing it to be larger and thinner than normal, and sometimes even slightly distorted in shape. And these broad-struck coins are instantly recognizable to collectors, who prize them for both their visual uniqueness and their scarcity, because a coin that is the result of an unrepeatable error naturally carries enormous collector interest. And while it is fascinating to consider the mechanical errors, it is equally important to recognize the role of condition, provenance, and market forces in determining the final value of a coin, because even the most dramatic error will command higher prices if it is preserved in pristine condition with minimal wear, original luster, and verified authenticity, and the provenance, or ownership history, of the coin can further enhance its value, particularly if it has been part of a famous collection or authenticated by a respected numismatic authority, because collectors are willing to pay a premium for certainty, trust, and historical connection, and the interplay of these factors, mechanical errors, minting anomalies, historical context, scarcity, condition, provenance, and collector demand, is what can elevate a 1989 penny from a 1-cent piece of copper to a coin worth $11 million. And it's remarkable to reflect on the fact that all these possibilities begin with a tiny human or mechanical mistake during the minting process, emphasizing the unpredictable nature of value, rarity, and human fascination. And beyond these specific error types, the 1989 penny also exemplifies the broader principle that coins are not only monetary instruments but also miniature time capsules, capturing a moment in history, a moment of industrial process, and a moment of human oversight or imperfection. And because each coin is mass-produced under complex conditions, the emergence of unique anomalies is inevitable, yet these anomalies are so rare that they command attention, create excitement, and drive enormous value in the collector market. And in some cases, coins like the 1989 penny become legendary not just for their errors, but for the stories attached to their discovery, such as coins found in circulation decades after production, coins unearthed in unexpected locations, or coins that have survived against the odds of wear, corrosion, or accidental destruction. Because every surviving specimen is effectively a survivor of history, a witness to production errors that were almost entirely lost to time, and collectors prize the rarity of both the coin itself and the story it carries, making mistakes, errors, and anomalies the very essence of the coin's appeal. And when you analyze the types of errors the 1989 penny can exhibit, doubled dies, off-center strikes, planchet flaws, struck-through debris errors, die cracks, mint mark anomalies, broad strikes, and more, it becomes clear that each mistake is an opportunity, a chance for a coin to stand out, to be recognized, and to achieve a level of value unimaginable at the time of production. And the fact that some 1989 pennies have reached $11 million in valuation is a testament to the power of rarity, human fascination with imperfection, and the careful, dedicated work of collectors and numismatic experts who identify, authenticate, and promote these extraordinary coins. And it also reminds us that in the world of collectibles, mistakes are often more valuable than perfection, because while perfection is common, errors are rare, and rarity drives desire, whether through scarcity, visual impact, historical significance, or a combination of all three. And the story of the 1989 penny demonstrates that even the smallest and most overlooked objects can hold immense value, that mistakes and anomalies are not liabilities but assets in the eyes of collectors, and that the intersection of history, human error, and mechanical imperfection can transform something as mundane as a 1-cent coin into an object worth millions. And when we hold a coin like this in our hands. Next, 2006 D 1-cent coin, a coin that at face value is worth only a single penny, yet under extremely rare circumstances, errors and mistakes during its minting have caused it to reach staggering values as high as $12 million. And today we are going to explore the reasons why this humble coin has captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and historians alike, diving into the details of its production, the errors that make it unique, and the possibilities that elevate its value far beyond what anyone could imagine. Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity, historical significance, and anomalies combine to create extraordinary opportunities. And the story of the 2006 D penny is a perfect illustration of how even the smallest errors can produce immense financial and cultural value, starting with the minting process itself, which is a highly intricate combination of human oversight, mechanical precision, and complex metallurgical preparation, where planchets, or coin blanks, are prepared from carefully alloyed metal. Dies are engraved with intricate designs including dates, mint marks, and portraits, and presses strike each coin under extreme pressure to ensure that the designs are accurately transferred. And yet, despite all this precision, errors can and do occur, whether due to mechanical issues, human mistakes, or unexpected anomalies. And these errors are what make certain coins, such as the 2006 D penny, incredibly valuable, because they are rare and unrepeatable, and collectors prize them for both their uniqueness and the stories they carry. One of the most significant types of errors affecting the 2006 D penny is the famous double die error, where the die used to strike the coin is improperly prepared or misaligned, resulting in a doubling of certain elements on the coin, such as the date, the lettering, or parts of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. And this doubling effect is immediately noticeable to the trained eye, creating a visual impact that is both striking and unmistakable. And what makes double die errors so valuable is that they are inherently limited by the conditions of their creation. Once a coin is struck with a particular double die anomaly, no other coin can be exactly the same, making each specimen a one-of-a-kind artifact. And within the category of double die errors, the 2006 D penny has been documented with variations that include doubling on the date, on the mint mark, on the word liberty, and on other inscriptions, each of which is highly sought after in the collector market. And in addition to double die errors, the 2006 D penny also exhibits instances of off-center strikes, where the planchet is not properly aligned within the press at the moment of striking, resulting in coins where portions of the design are missing or partially struck, creating dramatic visual anomalies that immediately draw the attention of numismatists, and the degree of misalignment significantly affects the value, with more extreme off-center strikes being far more desirable due to their rarity and striking appearance. And another common type of error that affects the 2006 D penny is the occurrence of broad strikes, where the coin is struck without the proper collar that contains the metal during minting, causing the coin to expand slightly, become thinner, and sometimes produce a distorted or uneven edge. And these broad-struck coins are instantly recognizable and highly prized for their unusual appearance and scarcity, because the conditions required to produce them are so rare that only a very small fraction of coins are affected, and collectors will pay substantial sums for specimens in pristine condition, especially those that show dramatic and visually appealing broad-strike characteristics. And planchet errors are another fascinating source of value for the 2006 D penny, including coins that were struck on improperly prepared blanks, wrong metal compositions, or blanks that were clipped, cracked, or otherwise malformed. And these planchet anomalies create coins that are physically and visually distinct from standard production, with unusual weight, texture, or surface characteristics. And such errors are highly coveted because they represent a departure from the standard minting process that cannot be intentionally reproduced without the same extremely rare circumstances that produced them in the first place. And in addition to mechanical and planchet errors, there are also struck-through errors, where foreign material, debris, grease, or even fragments of other coins become trapped between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving distinctive impressions, bumps, indentations, or distortions on the surface of the coin. And these anomalies are especially intriguing because each struck-through coin is unique, telling a story of the precise moment of error. And collectors prize them for both their rarity and their visual distinctiveness, creating an element of excitement and discovery when such coins appear in circulation or collections. And die cracks and die breaks also play a major role in the value of 2006 D pennies, as the dies used to strike coins can develop fractures over time due to stress and repeated use, resulting in raised lines, fissures, or unintended textures on the coin itself. And these features, while technically mistakes, are considered desirable because they make each coin distinct and instantly recognizable to collectors, adding another layer of rarity and historical interest. And mint mark anomalies also contribute to the extreme value of certain 2006 D pennies, including instances where the D mint mark is doubled, repunched, misaligned, or even missing entirely, creating coins that are visually striking and historically significant. Because such errors provide insight into the quality control processes at the Denver Mint during 2006, the human oversight involved, and the mechanical limitations of the minting machinery. And the combination of these errors, double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, planchet flaws, struck-through debris, die cracks, and mint mark anomalies, creates a wide range of possibilities for coins that are incredibly rare, highly collectible, and capable of achieving astronomical values in the market, with some examples reportedly reaching as much as $12 million when authenticated, verified, and auctioned to the right collectors. And beyond these specific technical errors, the 2006 D penny is also valuable because of its condition, provenance, and historical context, because coins that are preserved in uncirculated condition with original luster, minimal wear, and verified authenticity naturally command higher prices, and when these qualities are combined with documented errors, the value increases exponentially, because collectors are willing to pay a premium for certainty, rarity, and the assurance that the coin represents a unique moment in minting history. And the story of the 2006 D penny also exemplifies the broader principle that mistakes can create extraordinary value, that anomalies, deviations from the norm, and unintended outcomes are often more desirable than perfection, and that human fascination with imperfection, rarity, and history drives a market where the smallest, seemingly insignificant object can become an icon of financial and historical importance, and the psychological allure of these coins cannot be understated, because owning a rare error coin is not just about the monetary value, but about possessing a tangible piece of history, a connection to the minting process, and a witness to the exact moment when chance, error, and production intersected to create something truly unique, and this is especially true for the 2006 D penny, where every known high-value specimen carries not just an error but a story, a record of human and mechanical interaction, and a trace of the precise conditions under which it was produced, making it a miniature time capsule, a collectible, and an investment all in one. And when collectors, historians, and investors analyze these coins, they look for every possible detail, degree of doubling, off-center percentage, planchet integrity, struck-through anomalies, die crack patterns, mint mark placement, luster, preservation, and provenance, because each of these factors contributes to the overall value and desirability of the coin, and the interplay of these variables explains why a 2006 D penny, ordinarily worth just 1 cent, can achieve a valuation of $12 million in the marketplace, representing the culmination of rarity, historical significance, human fascination, and market dynamics, and it also illustrates the broader lesson that in the world of collectibles, mistakes are often more valuable than perfection, anomalies more prized than uniformity, and chance events more celebrated than intentional design. And the 2006 D penny serves as a perfect example of this principle, showing that a coin born of error can transcend its nominal value to become a legend, a coveted treasure, and a symbol of the unpredictable beauty of minting imperfections. And as we consider the errors, mistakes, and possibilities associated with this extraordinary coin, double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, planchet errors, struck-through anomalies, die cracks, mint mark irregularities, and more, we begin to understand how human oversight. Last 2023 1-cent coin, a coin that at face value is worth a mere penny but which, under extraordinarily rare circumstances, has been reported to reach astronomical values as high as $13 million due to a combination of errors, mistakes, and unique anomalies that make it highly coveted among collectors, investors, and enthusiasts around the world. And today we are going to explore in painstaking detail the production process, the types of errors and mistakes that have occurred, and the various possibilities that make this seemingly ordinary coin a rare treasure, because in the world of coin collecting, the interplay of rarity, history, mechanical anomalies, and human fascination can transform an everyday object into a multi-million-dollar artifact, and understanding why the 2023 penny is so valuable requires a closer look at how coins are made, beginning with the planchets, which are carefully prepared metal blanks made from a specific copper-plated zinc composition, and how dies, which carry intricate designs including the date, mint mark, and Lincoln portrait or memorial, are manufactured and used to strike coins under extreme pressure, creating a uniform design across millions of coins. Yet despite the precision of these processes, human oversight, mechanical imperfections, and unpredictable conditions can result in a wide range of errors, each of which has the potential to make a coin highly sought after, and one of the most significant categories of errors affecting the 2023 penny is the double die anomaly, where the die used to strike the coin was improperly engraved or misaligned, causing certain features such as the date, letters, or other design elements to appear doubled, and this effect is visually striking and immediately recognizable, making each genuine specimen unique and highly collectible. And because such errors are accidental, limited, and impossible to replicate without precise knowledge of the minting process, they naturally attract extreme attention in the collector market, and the 2023 penny has been documented with several notable double die varieties, including doubling on the date, doubling on the word liberty, and doubling on the inscriptions on the reverse, all of which make the coin stand out as an anomaly in an otherwise uniform batch of pennies, and in addition to double dies. The 2023 penny has been observed with off-center strikes, a type of error that occurs when the planchet is not properly aligned in the press, resulting in coins where parts of the design are missing or partially struck, and these misalignments can range from minor to dramatic, with extreme off-center strikes producing coins that are instantly recognizable, highly unique, and extremely valuable to collectors, because the degree of misalignment determines scarcity, and fewer extreme off-center coins exist, making them correspondingly rarer and more desirable, and the 2023 penny also exhibits broadstrike errors, which occur when a coin is struck without the proper collar, causing it to spread, become thinner, and occasionally develop distorted or uneven edges, and these broad-struck coins are highly prized for their unusual appearance, rarity, and the insight they provide into the mechanical minting process, as well as the fact that the conditions required for a broadstrike are highly specific and difficult to reproduce, making such coins extremely limited in number, and planchet errors are another fascinating contributor to the 2023 penny's value, including instances of wrong metal composition, clipped or malformed blanks, or improperly prepared surfaces, each of which results in a coin that is physically and visually distinct from the standard issue, and because each planchet error is unique, these coins are highly collectible, and when combined with other anomalies such as double dies or off-center strikes, their rarity and value increase exponentially, creating opportunities for coins to achieve extraordinary prices, such as the $13 million reported for certain specimens, and struck-through errors also play a role in the 2023 penny's desirability, occurring when foreign material such as grease, debris, or fragments of other coins are trapped between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving distinctive impressions, bumps, or indentations on the surface. And these anomalies are particularly intriguing because they are unpredictable, unique, and visually dramatic, creating coins that are one-of-a-kind artifacts of chance, and die cracks and die breaks are another common type of error affecting 2023 pennies, where the dies develop fractures from repeated use or structural stress, resulting in raised lines, fissures, or unintended textures on the coin, and such features are highly valued by collectors, because they create coins that are visually distinctive and historically significant, representing the moment when the die itself failed or deviated from perfection, and mint mark anomalies, such as doubled, repunched, misaligned, or missing mint marks, also contribute to the 2023 penny's extreme value, because they provide insight into the quality control and mechanical processes at the mint, revealing the human and technical factors that influenced coin production, and when all of these error types, double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, planchet flaws, struck-through anomalies, die cracks, and mint mark irregularities interact, the result is a coin that is rare, unique, historically interesting, and capable of achieving multi-million-dollar valuations, particularly when combined with other factors such as condition, provenance, and market demand, and the condition of the coin, including its grade, luster, and preservation, plays a crucial role in determining its value, because even a coin with a dramatic error may lose significant value if it has been circulated or damaged, whereas a perfectly preserved specimen, authenticated by respected numismatic authorities, can achieve astronomical prices, and provenance, or the documented ownership history of the coin, further enhances its desirability, particularly if it has been part of a famous collection or auction through a recognized platform, because collectors value certainty, authenticity, and historical context in addition to the physical anomalies, and beyond these technical factors, the 2023 penny demonstrates the broader principle that in the world of collectibles, mistakes can create immense value, that imperfection can be more desirable than perfection, and that chance events, mechanical quirks, and human oversight often produce the rarest and most celebrated items, and the psychological appeal of these coins cannot be underestimated, because owning a rare error coin is not just a financial investment, but a connection to history, a tangible piece of the minting process, and a witness to the unique conditions that led to its creation, and this is especially true for the 2023 penny, where each high-value specimen carries not just an error but a story, a trace of the precise moment of production and a tangible example of the interaction between human decision-making and mechanical processes, making it a miniature historical artifact, a collectible, and an investment all at once. And when collectors, investors, and enthusiasts examine 2023 pennies, they scrutinize every detail: degree of doubling, percentage of off center strike, planchet integrity, presence of debris, patterns of die cracks, mint mark placement, surface luster, preservation, and provenance, because each factor contributes to the coin's overall desirability and potential market value, and the interaction of these variables is what explains how a single penny, produced in 2023, can command prices as high as $13 million in the right circumstances, representing a convergence of rarity, historical significance, human fascination, and market dynamics. And the story of the 2023 penny also exemplifies the notion that mistakes are often more valuable than perfection, anomalies more desirable than uniformity, and chance events more celebrated than intentional design, because collectors are drawn to the unique, the unpredictable, and the historically significant. And a coin born of error often transcends its nominal value to become a legend, a coveted treasure, and a symbol of the extraordinary possibilities that can arise from human and mechanical imperfection. And as we consider all the errors, mistakes, and possibilities associated with this incredible coin, double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, planchet errors, struck-through anomalies, die cracks, mint mark irregularities, and more, it becomes clear how a 1-cent coin from 2023 has achieved a status as one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in modern numismatics, illustrating the power of rarity, the allure of mistakes, the fascination with history, and the incredible potential for even the smallest, most ordinary object to become extraordinary. And this is why collectors, historians, and enthusiasts continue to study, preserve, and compete for these coins, because they are not merely currency, but stories in metal, time capsules of production anomalies, and, in the case of certain high-value specimens, objects worth $13 million. Demonstrating that the world of numismatics is full of surprises, opportunities, and moments of pure serendipity where human error and mechanical imperfection combine to create treasures that captivate the imagination, inspire awe, and illustrate in the most vivid way possible.